Last week, I traveled around the great state of Indiana on my Restart tour. I visited small businesses up and down the state, 8 cities, in fact, where we've seen so many Hoosiers adversely impacted by this pandemic. Like many other states, Indiana's starting to open up our economy, and I know so many Hoosiers welcome that. Our governor, Eric Holcomb, has been implementing a 5-stage plan for safely reopening Indiana's economy. The cities on my tour had businesses in various stages of reopening. Restaurants like Catablu Grill in Fort Wayne, Arnie's in Lafayette, and Woody's Library in Carmel are open at 50% of capacity right now. The nonprofit Terre Haute Children's Museum remains closed, unfortunately. They're struggling to pay their employees. I visited Zimmer Biomet Hibbard, a medical device company in Valparaiso, enjoyed the tour visiting with the employees, but discovered that sales had dropped 95% in March. Now, fortunately, they received a Paycheck Protection Program loan, and that enabled them to keep all 23 of their employees on the payroll. It's clear that we need to continue evaluating additional relief measures for small businesses and Indiana's nonprofits, and my Restart Act is a viable approach to help keep our hardest-hit businesses and nonprofits going. This Restart Act is a bipartisan measure I've introduced with Senator Bennett, and the effort here is to build upon the success of the Paycheck Protection Program. We've seen more than 74,000 Hoosier businesses that have benefited from PPP. Loans total nearly $9.4 billion in the state of Indiana. Just for context, that's an average loan of $130,000. These are for small businesses like those that we see up and down our state. But the Paycheck Protection Program requires funds to be spent in just 8 weeks. And most restaurants, gyms, boutiques, and so many other businesses weren't permitted to be open during part or all of that 8-week period. So the first part of the Restart Act merely extends the time frame to 16 weeks for our nation's hardest-hit businesses. Second, we know that PPP was meant to be a bridge to reopening the economy. But many small businesses have a much longer bridge to cross. That's why our new Restart program would provide loans covering up to 6 months of payroll and fixed operating expenses. That's just for those businesses that have taken a substantial revenue hit during this coronavirus pandemic. So my Restart initiative here would provide needed funds with flexibility for employers to pay bills, to implement social distancing measures like those plexiglass divides I saw at so many businesses, and most importantly, to bring employees back to work, which is exactly where they want to be. Over the last several weeks, I've spoken to more than 22,000 Hoosiers by using Zoom teleconferencing capabilities, hopping on conference calls, and through other means. And I have to say, I'm truly inspired by the way Hoosiers have come together to help one another during this pandemic. Everyone's done their part. Hoosiers want to work, and business owners are eager to pay them. So the Restart Act can help make sure this happens, and I hope my colleagues will give it strong consideration in coming days. Thank you so much, Mr. President, and I yield.